training!
What's going on, you guys? This is All Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you guys another Borderlands 3 video. And with this video I'm going to be giving you guys is going to be my top 4 legendary grenades. It's not an overall grenade video. It's not like I'm going to be showing you the porcelain pipe bomb. That's not going to be on this list because to me that's a broken grenade, and I'm pretty sure it's going to end up getting a nerf anyways eventually. Maybe not, who knows. But it's not a legendary grenade, so it's not going to be on this list. The grenades on this list though, it isn't necessarily just good for a specific character like Moze or, you know, the gunner. It can be used really well for any of the other classes, and I have used them on the other classes as well, or the other Vault Hunters. So these are just the different grenades, the 4 different grenades I would highly recommend keeping an eye out for if you end up, you know, coming across these at all throughout your playtime. I'm pretty sure there are other grenades out there that you personally might like more than these grenades, but for me these are just the best grenades to go for. But yeah, hopefully this helps you guys out, and we're gonna go ahead and go straight into it. So the first grenade is going to be the Quasar grenade. It's basically a singularity grenade with a shock element that pulls targets, and I would highly recommend using this, you know, for someone who's trying to build more of a crowd control type of build. It's great because you can literally pull enemies around. You can even throw enemies off the map, which is pretty crazy. I've done it a few times where I just threw the Quasar grenade kind of close to an edge, and then it would just like yank the enemy away from me and then just throw them off the map, resulting in a kill. And sometimes it even works against the badasses or even the anointed enemies. Some anointed enemies are resistant to being pulled. Some enemies are resistant because of how big they are, or they're just resistant to that certain element. But overall, the Quasar grenade is really amazing to use, especially because of the fact that it can pull multiple targets, not just one target. You can pull about, like, I think 2 or 3 targets with one grenade. But yeah, I would highly recommend using this if you are looking for more of a crowd control type of grenade. Next up is going to be the Hex grenade. So not just the Mitosis Hex, but just the Hex grenade in general. The Mitosis Hex is really good because, well, the one I have splits into 2 different grenades, or technically up to 3 grenades. It throws your base, or your base grenade, and then splits 2 other grenades out, which is really awesome. And what's nice about the Hex grenades is it's like they have a lock-on system. It's like they're a trip mine, and they will consistently keep doing damage to the enemy. Now, they don't just come as shock element, they can come out as any element. They can come with the fire, or incendiary, they can come with corrosive, radiation, ice. I have an ice one on my, I think it's my operative. Yeah, my operative, because I have a cryo build on my operative. And it's really insane. Like, you can do a lot of damage on the operative with this because you can do more damage to cryo or frozen enemies. And with that grenade, with the Hex grenade, it's just, I would highly recommend using this, not necessarily for like crowd control, but using it for just overall like mobbing, because it's an amazing mobbing grenade. You can use it for any classes. It's especially good for Moze, or all these grenades that I'm going to be showing you guys are good for Moze, but this one especially if you're running a shield build, because the Hex grenade reaches multiple targets just like the Quasar grenade, but it also follows the enemies around. So if they move out the way, they'll just run up, you know, the Hex grenades will follow and just continue to keep doing damage over and over and over, allowing your Moze to have pretty much unlimited shield. So the next one's going to be the Stormfront. The Stormfront is another electric element grenade, just like the previous 2 that you just saw, but this grenade is such an amazing grenade to use. It works like a trip mine. Whenever nearby enemies come to, or come close, like I'd say within like 10 meters, it will just start to shock them, doing damage over time until the grenade is done. And the one I have it has the MRV, so it splits into 3 extra grenades with it, which is even better because it's able to, all 3 of those grenades are able to shock that same target, and if there's other nearby targets, they'll shock nearby targets as well. So it works the same way as the hex grenades, pretty much, but I'm pretty sure the Stormfront does more damage than the hex grenades. But the thing about the hex grenade is the hex grenade can home onto the enemies, where the Stormfront doesn't home. I'm pretty sure there is a Stormfront mod or a Stormfront grenade that does have that specific mod on it, where it can home into the enemies. But you know, it doesn't stick to them. It doesn't float in the air like the like the hex grenade. It just stays on the ground, but it jumps around and it can hit multiple targets as well, and it can hit very hard. Even though they're like the enemies on the screen are resistant, it's still doing a lot of damage. So the last grenade is going to be the Firestorm grenade. The one I have is called Rain Firestorm, and with Rain Firestorm it allows you to launch 3 extra, or allows your grenade to launch 3 extra fire grenades when you detonate yours. The Firestorm is especially more powerful on Moe's because of the fact that Moe's has a built-in incendiary, like passives and whatnot. Like you can push your incendiary damage itself to like 50-60% by itself. And then when you have the artifact that allows you to get 183% elemental damage to the element that's affected to you, it pushes your damage even higher, like over 220% just with fire, which is pretty insane. Now for anyone else, any other classes, the Firestorm is still really good to use. Obviously like the Hex Grenade and the Quasar would probably be better suited for other classes, but the Firestorm is still really good for mob clearing. It's still really good for even boss fights as well, for that like nice little damage burst, or yeah, the damage burst, or burst damage is what the word is. Burst damage against the bosses, especially if you can build up your fire damage pretty high. Because I know like there's an Amara build where you can push your fire damage, but yeah, I really started enjoying the Firestorm a lot, for a few days. It's just a really fun grenade to use. So that is my top 4 favorite legendary grenades in the game. Do I think these are the best grenades in the game? Probably not. Do I think these are the most enjoyable grenades in the game? Definitely, I do think these are the most enjoyable grenades, as well as one of the most effective grenades in the game, and definitely not the most cheesy grenades like the porcelain pipe bomb. The way you can get these specific grenades though is you can just simply farm them from Graveward. That's where I ended up getting my grenades, was just Graveward farming just in general, because you know, for me, that was the only way I was really farming for legendaries. I farm Graveward offline, because or not really anymore. I tend to farm Tyrene because it's just more enjoyable. I farm whatever, and you can still find these grenades from wherever you can. They're not boss specific grenades or mob specific or anything. They just drop from anywhere, so you really just have to rely on RNG. But I've seen them drop more often from, you know, from Graveward, obviously, because that's the only boss I've really been going against the most. But hopefully this video helps you guys out. You can go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe if you have any questions as well. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. And yeah, that's pretty much it with this video. If this, like I said, if it helps you out, go leave a like, comment, subscribe. This is all day today one on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.